This is a 5 Games for Doomsday update. So, I'm here, slightly misty-eyed, for an update on a guest. This is the first one of its kind because I decided when one of the guests I've interviewed has had a significant change in their life that we need to come back, we need to grab them, and we need to know the whys and wherefores. So I'm here with Stephen Bounocore, still until August the 1st, I believe.
That's right.
The leader of Stronghold Games, and then going into the wide world of deck chairs, gardening, and world travel. So firstly, Stephen, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ben. And I'm really surprised that you didn't have Christian T. Peterson on when he retired a year and a half ago. I mean, I know he's a little harder to get on.
I literally sent him an email today, in fact. So we'll see if he ever gets back to me. But so secondly, first of all, let us know why. It was a big announcement sort of a week, 2 weeks ago that you were going to retire from Stronghold Games. Why?
I mean, it's very simple. And I think that if you think about it in a business context, as well as a personal context, it becomes crystal clear. If you're a business owner, you have to make many decisions. One of those decisions always must be, what is your exit plan? Because the difference between a corporation, and we're all small corporate entities, companies. The difference between a corporation and other things in life is the corporations have infinite lifespan. That's the definition. They continue on unless you shut them down. And certainly no one's going to just turn off the spigot of something that is profitable. There's no reason to do that. So you need an exit plan for your business, for you in your business, though your business is going to continue. As an individual, you need to think about, well, what do you want to do in your life? Do you want to continue to and maybe there are people who don't do this, who don't have this issue, but do you want to continue waking up in the middle of the night in sweats, thinking that you did not get the games to make the container in time to get to my warehouse so that I can hit a street date? Or do I want to take a step back and relax and not have to worry about things like that and simply enjoy all that life has to offer? So on both of those things, this entire process, this entire plan to get to this point has been in the works for literally years. And people, and it's funny, and nobody did say it, though I was getting ready for people to say, oh, this has to do with, and I'm going to throw out a bunch of things. This has to do with COVID. This has to do with the company not doing well. This has to do with the state of the market currently. Every one of those things could not be further from the truth. The actual timeline even, which got modified a little bit, but not having to do with COVID, actually began when the merger occurred. At that moment, when all those documents were signed between Travis Worthington and I, Indie Boards and Cards, Stronghold Games, we merged to create Indie Game Studios. At that time, we had set out a timeline to make this happen. Now, we did change the timelines, but that's for no events that you see going around you. It's simply like, oh, well, things are going very well here, and we have people that can step up. Let's make this thing happen slightly earlier than it was going to happen previously. So all of this is a really good thing. I could not be happier personally, and I could not be happier turning over the business to some of the most competent people that I have ever met in my life. I'm really, really pleased by the management team and the staff that will continue to be at Indie Game Studios.
So, but why now then? Because you mentioned just then that a couple of times that the schedule has been changed. It's been speeded up. I mean, you're not an old man. You still have, I sincerely hope, many years left in you. Why?
I hope
why
so.
now? Why has the schedule been sped up?
It's simply because there was no need to have a senior person in the role any longer, number one. And and because I could now simply relax more. Those two things, they're sort of parallel, right? There's the business side. The functions that I were doing could be assumed by others, and that I could reduce the amount of stress in my life. Let's face it. When you retire, be it at I'm 59, by the way, 59 yesterday.
You don't look a day over
Be it-
58, Stephen. So
Thank you so much, Ben. All of people like you, I just want to punch in the face. It's between the fact that I'm 59, I don't want the stress, and I have enough money to live happily and comfortably, to do all the fun things that life has to offer, travel when we're able to do so, simply relax. Sure, you said by the pool and the beach and things like that, and not worry. And by the way, and I can still do fun things within the industry that will keep me engaged and happy. So I do. I plan on staying relevant in the industry in various ways. I'm sure we'll talk about them. But the timing made sense because of we have the people in place to do the job, and I could always de-stress now.
Well, on the subject, the rather mucky subject of money, and I'm not going to ask you for figures, obviously, because that would be very unseemly, but
very gauche.
Indeed. So are you completely, when you retire on August the 1st, is that your financial interest in Stronghold Games terminated? Was there a part of the exit strategy? Was there a payoff? Will you continue to get profits from Stronghold Games, or are you now, financially completely separate from the company?
Right. And I know that question will come up here, and I knew it would come up. The answer to that question is no. I still maintain a significant financial interest in the combined company of Indie Games Studios. A significant financial interest. The terms of which obviously we can talk about. How much
you can talk about it if you want to. But
I could, but I won't. You'd have to ply me with much alcohol, Ben. But no,
I can't send you down the internet, unfortunately. So
that's right. I maintain a significant financial interest in the company, and I will for quite some time. Who knows? Maybe ad infinitum. We'll see about that. I just literally don't draw a salary, and that's the significant. I don't draw a salary, meaning I don't work. Right? I don't get paid. I don't work. That's the definition of being, in an employed position. I will now rather not do that, and I'll do other things that I will enjoy. Not only the relaxation and the nice dinners and travel, please, let's open up, and so I can travel and do things like that, but also, do some things within the industry that are not of a stressful nature.
So, I went through a period a few years ago where I was out of work for a sort of significant period of time. And for the first couple of weeks, it was great. I'd get up when I wanted and whatever. And then very, very quickly, it started to grate on me. I started to feel like I had no purpose. Days became weeks, became months, and sort of melded into each other. Excuse me. So you're a person, it seems to me, who thrives on doing things, on being busy. What do you intend to do now you're retired? How are you going to, keep your pep up, keep yourself busy? Because I'm sure just sitting by the pool every day will become tiresome after a time.
Let's start with the things that I'll do that maybe the people who are listening will be interested in versus sitting at the pool. But I currently do Board Games Insider, my podcast with Ignacy Chevicek of Portal Games. We'll have to change the intro, that says with Ignacy Chevicek, President of Portal, and Stephen Buonocore, President of Stronghold Games. We'll have to change that intro a little bit. I will still do the podcast because the knowledge in my head of how the industry works doesn't just vanish. I will still be a commentator, reporting on the news of the industry and commenting on the news because we do a lot of that. We don't just report on it. It's not like we just sit there, talking head. We just read the news and then we go away. we comment on it and what's the impact of something like that happening. So all of that will continue. I mean, let's just call it an hour show. It's under an hour, and the work that goes into that. Of course, I will then also at some point, not like boom, you're not going to hear an announcement within the next 2 weeks, but I will start doing work with other media outlets. Now, it's no shock where I'll probably start doing more work with, and that would be the Dice Tower. My relationship with my arch gaming nemesis, Tom Vassell, is strong, and we'll do some work together there. I'm not going to become like on one of his main podcasts or something like that. That's not in the cards as far as I know, unless he asked me, but that's not part of it. But doing more of the stuff that he does and adding content there. And then there's Board Game Geek. I have a very strong relationship with Scott Alden, who owns Board Game Geek, who knows there, and maybe with others. I mean, there are a lot of creative industry adjacent game media outlets that could, I think, use a very strong voice and a very big proponent and a very big spokesperson for the hobby. So all of that space is open to me. And that'll take X amount of time. And the rest of the time I can, manage my life, finances. I invest. I do some of that. I manage that side of my life. And I will, trust me, enjoy sitting by the pool and or taking short trips around South Florida and Florida in general. And I promise you, once the world opens up, there'll be more plane flights and vacation type things in my future as well. So all of that together, I do not think is going to become a tedious thing for me. And I will enjoy life quite a bit to the fullest.
So it's interesting because you're entering a new phase of life, and you find as you go through life, an event will happen and you'll think, oh, so I'm here in my life at this point in my life right now. And sort of it became a tradition. So for me, this year is very interesting for two reasons. One, there's no Essen this year. And this is the first time in almost a decade that I won't have been to Essen. And secondly, I always made it a tradition since I started producing podcasts to come and grab you on the Sunday and sort of get your overview of that year's Essen and sort of what you thought and what was good and so on and so forth. And so now you're no longer running Stronghold Games. You're no longer running a game company. Is that conventions done for you? Have they been completely ruined by your years of work? Or do you see yourself going to Essen, going to GenCon, that sort of thing?
With virtual certainty, of course, who knows if we're going to have a conventions next year, but I believe we will. I'm the eternal optimist. I was always on this, we're going to see Origins. No, we're going to see no. I was the eternal optimist this year, but I really believe that in 2021 we'll be back to a certain degree of normalcy and we will have physical conventions. And with that, with the caveat of who knows, it's a virtual certainty that I will be at all the major conventions and I will see you at Essen 2021. I'll be a civilian. It'll be wonderful. I'll wander the halls. I'll visit all my friends, right? I mean, I've got so many publishing friends and I'll just wander and say hello to people and play games. Hey, what a great thing. I don't have to sit in 10 hours of meetings every day. And you know that, Ben, right? We're always like, okay, I can squeeze you in for this half hour here, or maybe while I'm eating lunch, I'll put you there. Essen is my single hardest convention to do. Not only is it 5,000 miles away, right, from home, but, and all of the logistics of getting games to a foreign country, crazy. But also in the amount of stress it takes on oneself to actually schedule that whole thing out, take the meetings you need to take the meetings you really want to take, get away from the meetings you don't want to take. It's a lot of work and it's crazy. And now I'll be there playing games and enjoying. You'll find me. Hey, you know where you're going to find me? Maybe every day at 7 p.m. back at the Stronghold Games booth, because they have a booth party. At least I hope they'll continue to do it. I'll be there drinking all their beer every night at 7 p.m. for a half hour, and then
I'll be able to oar in on your invite as well.
Absolutely, you're invited.
And so, okay, just one last question then. So you're going into a new phase of your life, and so where do you see yourself in the next 5 years, both within the gaming industry and sort of in your personal life?
I see myself being established as part of one or more media outlets, and probably more than one, because I think there's no reason not to continue doing work with lots of people who would like a voice of a certain type. Obviously, an insider's voice, someone who has access to everybody in the industry, someone who can bring a perspective from having done all of the various things within the industry. So I'll be in with multiple outlets most likely. I guess in a lot of ways it'll be like an elder spokesperson. I know you said I wasn't old, but having done it all and then retired happily, I'll be that person hopefully that people will come to and ask for advice. And I will gladly give it, as long as it's not like a full-time job doing so. I'm happy to be there for people to help them out and to guide them and to give them some advice on how things worked out for me and maybe how, the tacts that they should take to up their game and to become more professional and hopefully to become more successful. That's sort of the way I view it from the business side and the personal side. I'm going to be posting a lot of pictures of, me drinking, drinks with little umbrellas in them and things like that, as I visit various warm places around the world. Or I sit by my pool.
I sincerely hope you've stocked up on Hawaiian shirts because it sounds like you're going to need them.
I hope so.
Well, Stephen, congratulations on surviving the gaming industry and coming out the other side. And I think I'm not alone in saying that I think the community is glad that this is not a farewell. This is just a temporary break until the planes start going again. And if I can recommend one thing you should do, is try and make it to LariaCon next year. It's the best convention in the world.
In Portugal. Really? You think the Portugal convention is the best in the world?
Well, Essen's exciting. I've not been to the American conventions, but the wonderful thing about LariaCon is it's 4 days right by the sea, totally focused upon nothing but playing games, drinking booze, and being rowdy. It is truly wonderful. I highly recommend it.
It's you mentioned a bunch of things there that I like. So maybe LariaCon will be in my future. I know a lot of good people that go. Actually, I did not know that you went, but I know that Uli Blenneman goes.
You said good people.
A lot of the big designers go. I know Vital Lacerda. A lot of other design friends of mine are there. So who knows? We'll see. And I like the fact that it's by the sea and we can all just relax and have a good time together. So we'll see.
You can support the show by going to patreon.com/5G4D.